Look under your feet right now. Take a deep breath and really look. The solid concrete foundation of your home, the asphalt streets you drive on every single day, the sprawling cities you think will last forever. They are not just monuments of modern engineering. They are tombstones. You are standing at this very second directly over the crushed, burnt, and systematically erased ashes of an empire that was silenced long before you were even born. We have been brainwashed. We have been entirely conditioned from the moment we took our first breath to blindly believe that human history is a straight line of glorious progress, that we, the modern humans, are the absolute peak of evolution on this planet. That is the greatest, most flawlessly executed lie ever sold to mankind. We are not the first. We are not even the second or the third. We are the fifth iteration of humanity. We are the fifth civilization to be seeded, monitored, and eventually harvested like a crop. And your time, our time, is running out faster than you can possibly comprehend. The cosmic countdown did not start yesterday. It started exactly 500 years ago, and it all converges, perfectly and terrifyingly, in the year 2026. You feel it in your bones, do you not? The bizarre weather anomalies tearing across the globe, the sudden and violent shifts in the magnetic field, the unexplainable creeping feeling of dread when you look at the daily news. They are telling you it is just a natural cycle. They are telling you it is just global politics. They are lying to your face. The global elite know exactly what is coming in 2026. That is why the billionaires are quietly fleeing to their multi-billion-dollar underground bunkers, sealing themselves behind titanium blast doors, while you and your family are left up here to face the Great Reset. The algorithm of our reality is glitching. Do not look away. Do not pause this audio, because what I am about to show you will permanently shatter everything you thought you knew about your own existence. Open your mind for a second and forget the history textbooks you were forced to memorize in high school. The grand narrative of human evolution, starting from primitive cavemen hunting with spears and slowly building up to the modern marvel of the internet, is a completely fabricated, linear fairy tale. Real history, the terrifying, undeniable truth hidden deep within the classified archives, is a violently repetitive circle. It is a relentless loop of creation and total, sudden annihilation. Before us, before the fifth iteration of humanity, there were four magnificent, highly advanced global empires. Four distinct epochs where humanity reached a level of technological and spiritual sophistication that would make our current Silicon Valley look like a child playing with mud. And then they vanished. Not over centuries, not through slow decay or famine, but overnight. They were completely erased, silenced, and systematically scrubbed from the archives of the earth. We are talking about the mythical continents of Lemuria and Atlantis, names they mockingly turn into children's cartoons to keep you from digging deeper into the truth. But the physical evidence is screaming at us from beneath the dirt. Consider the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey. Mainstream archaeologists tell us it was built over 11,000 years ago by simple hunter-gatherers. But they conveniently gloss over the chilling reality that the entire complex, featuring massive, perfectly carved stone pillars weighing up to 20 tons each, was not destroyed by an earthquake or left to ruin. It was deliberately, painstakingly buried. Someone, or something, spent an incomprehensible amount of time covering it up with thousands of tons of dirt and refuse, hiding it from the future, hiding it from the Great Reset. Why? What were they so desperate to conceal before the cataclysm hit? And if you think that is just an isolated anomaly, pack your bags and go to the high mountains of Peru. Look closely at the ancient megalithic walls of Sacsayhuaman. You will find massive blocks of andesite stone, some weighing over 100 tons, that have been literally vitrified. Vitrification means the surface of the solid rock was subjected to such an intensely extreme, localized heat, upward of 2,000 to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that it actually melted and turned into glass. No natural forest fire, no primitive torch could ever produce that kind of thermal shock. The only thing capable of melting solid rock like that in an instant is a thermonuclear blast or a directed energy weapon. They had weapons of mass destruction thousands of years before the Manhattan Project. They fought, they lost, and the entire civilization was reset to zero. And now, the exact same cosmic trigger that wiped them off the map is pointing directly at us. Have you ever asked yourself why the most brilliant quantum supercomputers in the world and a cryptic prophet from the 16th century are suddenly pointing their fingers at the exact same inescapable year, 2026? This is not a coincidence, and it is certainly not a random conspiracy theory born in a dark basement. It is mathematical precision. It is the 500-year cycle of the Great Reset. Let us go back exactly 5 centuries to the year 1526. A year of massive, undocumented geological and social upheavals that were quietly scrubbed from the mainstream history books to maintain the illusion of continuous stability. Michel de Nostradam, known to the world as Nostradamus, saw the terrifying pattern. He wrote about a celestial convergence, a time when the skies would tear open and the earth would fracture, culminating exactly 500 years later. And now, look at the raw data pouring out of our modern classified satellites. The magnetic field of the Earth, the invisible shield that protects our fragile atmosphere from lethal solar radiation, is not just weakening, it is violently fracturing. The magnetic North Pole is racing towards Siberia at an unprecedented erratic speed of over 30 miles per year. The predictive quantum models run by black budget defense departments are all throwing up catastrophic red flags for the exact same window, the year 2026. But they will never, ever broadcast this reality on your evening news. Because while the mainstream media is busy distracting you with petty political theater and meaningless celebrity gossip, the global elite are silently preparing for the end of the 5th iteration. Why do you think the tech billionaires, the very architects of our modern digital cage, are suddenly liquidating their massive stock portfolios and pouring billions of dollars into self-sustaining, hyper-secure underground bunkers in New Zealand and remote islands in the Pacific? They are hoarding heirloom seeds, securing private military contractors, and building subterranean fortresses equipped with advanced air filtration systems that can withstand a prolonged nuclear winter. They are not doing this for a fun weekend getaway. They have seen the unredacted data. They know the 500-year cycle is completing right now. They know the invisible hand is about to wipe the slate clean. And they have absolutely zero intention of saving the other 99% of humanity. You and I are simply considered acceptable collateral damage in the grand cosmic algorithm. The convergence is already here, and the dead silence from the people in absolute power is the most deafening alarm bell you will ever hear. Listen to me very carefully. The end of the world is not going to look like a Hollywood blockbuster movie. There will be no glorious alien invasion, no sudden meteor strike lighting up the night sky, and no dramatic, blinding flash of a nuclear mushroom cloud. The apocalypse of the 5th civilization is arriving in absolute suffocating silence. It is a silent purge. We are waiting for a physical destruction that is never going to come, because the real war is not being fought for our physical bodies. It is being fought for our minds. The invisible hand, the unseen architects of this grand simulation we call reality, they do not need to drop bombs to reset the board. They just need to rewrite the code. Right now, as you are listening to the sound of my voice, a massive global cognitive purge is taking place. Have you noticed the glitches in the Matrix recently? Have you noticed the bizarre phenomenon where hundreds of thousands of people suddenly remember historical events, corporate brand logos, or even the tragic deaths of famous public figures entirely differently from what the official, mainstream records dictate? The media calls it the Mandela Effect, and they try to laugh it off as a harmless collective false memory. That is a calculated lie designed to keep you asleep. It is not a psychological quirk. It is the real-time editing of our timeline. The global server is being updated, and the old data is being systematically overwritten. History is literally being rewritten right in front of our eyes, and our very memories are being scrubbed clean to match the new artificial narrative. They are slowly, meticulously detaching us from our past so that when the final switch is flipped in the year 2026, we will not even realize that anything has fundamentally changed. We will simply wake up in a new, sanitized reality, completely oblivious to the fact that the world we knew yesterday was entirely vaporized. The elite are not just hiding in their underground bunkers to protect their physical bodies. They are hiding their uncorrupted data. They are preserving the true, unaltered history of the human race, while ours is being digitally and neurologically wiped out. You are losing your grip on what is real and what is a planted memory. The strange chronic fatigue you feel every single day, the constant brain fog, the overwhelming sense of dread that you cannot quite explain, it is your biological hard drive fighting desperately against the forced format. The cognitive purge is the most efficient weapon of mass destruction ever deployed in the history of the universe, because the victims never even know they have been erased. They just accept the new reality, forget the faces of their ancestors, and march blindly into the spiritual slaughterhouse. The greatest deception of all is not what is going to happen in the year 2026. The ultimate horrifying truth that you need to swallow right now is that the Great Reset has already begun. We are already inside the event horizon. Look back at the last 3 years. The unprecedented global isolation, the sudden sickness, the absolute paralysis of the world economy. You were told it was just a series of unfortunate historical events. You were lied to. That was not history happening. That was the loading screen of the new Matrix. The system had to shut you inside your homes so they could change the background scenery without you noticing. Your memories of those 3 years might not even be real. They might simply be fabricated data files, artificially implanted into your neurological pathways to cover up the undeniable fact that the old world is already collapsing around you. Tonight, when you turn off the lights and close your eyes in the dark, the very house you are sleeping in, the sacred history of your own bloodline, could be quietly wiped from the global server. You are standing on the precipice of oblivion. The invisible algorithm is constantly scanning the network, searching for anomalies, searching for anyone awake enough to see the puppet strings. Before they find this transmission, before the system silences this channel, and before this video is permanently erased from the servers, you need to act. Hit the subscribe button right now. Save this truth before it disappears. Share this message with someone who is still hopelessly trapped in the illusion, because the countdown to 2026 is not stopping for anyone. Ask yourself this one final terrifying question. When you wake up tomorrow morning, when you look deeply into your own reflection in the mirror, are you absolutely unequivocally sure you are still the exact same person who went to sleep?